Hey everyone, and welcome back to Country Music Made Me. Thank you so much for joining us once again. Please make sure you are liking, sharing, following, subscribing to us on whatever streaming service you are listening on. You can leave us a review, a rating, tell your friends, your family, your neighbors to come on over and have a listen. That support means the world to us each and every week. Now, today we're sitting down with Krista and Kendra, the sisters that make up the duo Tigirlily. Now, they have been playing music together since they were 11 and 13. After high school, they moved to Nashville to see if they could give this country music thing a go. And earlier this year, well, things came crashing together. They released their single, it went #1 on iTunes, and they received a record deal, really all in the span of 5 days. We talked to them about that and really their entire journey. So please enjoy our conversation with Krista and Kendra of Tigirlily. Krista, before we start, I was wondering if you could set the energy of the room and if you could do the fast part of Rap God by Eminem. If you could do that for us to really set the mood, to set the energy.
I can attempt it.
Do you need a beat or something, Krista?
Let's see if I remember this.
Get in the zone.
And then Samalama Dimalama, you must I'm a human. What I gotta do to get a 30? I'm superhuman, innovative, animated robots that anything you say is ricocheting off of me and it'll glue to you. I'm devastating ever more than demonstrating how to give a mother truck an audience a feeling like it's levitating, never fading. And then I know the haters are forever waiting for the day could say, Philip, I'll be celebrating because I know the way to get them elevated. I make elevated music, you make elevator music. That was like 80% for me.
For like
Awesome.
3 hours.
Woo! Yeah.
Now
that's actually a great way to start off the interview.
I love it. I love that energy. And that gets us going. And now let's talk about the show last night. How was the energy? The first time near your hometown, I think an hour and a half away from your hometown, pretty much as close as you can get, playing on the main stage at the fair. What was it like?
It was honestly a dream come true for us. Like you have all these bucket list things that probably a lot of other artists have, like Madison Square Garden, Red Rocks, the Opry, everything like that. But for us, we have like these unique little things as well on our bucket list. And so playing the main stage at the North Dakota State Fair has always been on that list because we grew up going to concerts there. I think Carrie Underwood was the first concert I ever attended at the North Dakota State Fair, and Miranda and Taylor and Eric Church and all these people. We went to these concerts growing up, and we played actually a side stage many, many years ago at this fair, like 4 times a day. And you met so many people, but yeah, last night was the first time we played the main stage. And just with everything happening in this last year, it was just an amazing homecoming kind of celebration with everybody. And it was a Wednesday night. So we were like, oh, there's, it'll be like maybe a little kind of full,
maybe half.
Yeah. And it was packed. So it was really just so much fun. And when we go back home to North Dakota, they're so supportive of what we've been doing. And so it's like really just friends and family we feel like we're looking out into the audience. So it's a really good time.
And like I say, it's about an hour and a half from actual home, which is Hazen. It's a very small community. Now, is that as close as you have played to your home in the past couple of years, or have you got to play even closer than that?
Well, we did. We thought this would be really fun, but we did a show in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Oh yeah.
We said we're doing a free acoustic show about a month ago or 2 months ago, and we said we have a special surprise announcement. And that's when we told everybody that we were going to be releasing our debut EP with Monument Records. And I don't know, probably like 500 people showed up on I don't even remember what night it was. Weeknight at this local brewery in Bismarck, North Dakota. That's about an hour from our hometown.
But Minot and Bismarck. So those are like the 2 big cities close to where we grew up. So yeah, I would say Minot.
We just played Medora, North Dakota, which is the big tourist part of North Dakota. It's like a Wild West town, beautiful amphitheater. And again, it was just felt like friends and family. It's like the whole state of North Dakota.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah. And so every one of the shows in North Dakota, are your family there?
So actually, our parents live in Nashville, outside of Nashville now, but they road tripped it up for this, and they're actually going to Cheyenne tomorrow. And they went to Medora. They are still like
they're roadies,
groupies from day one, because they always say we because our parents helped us for so long, like, doing this whole thing. And now we're like, well, we have so many people helping us, mom and dad, you guys can just chill and relax. And they're like, we're not going to miss out on these cool shows now. So we're road tripping. So it's kind of fun that they get to come and just relax and enjoy the show now. And we don't put them to work, too much. So
let's talk about that. Let's talk about that background, your parents. I know it's been said that you come from a musical home, but what did that look like? Were your parents musical, or was it more just that they encouraged the musicality within you?
Two.
Yeah.
Two.
So they particularly, they don't sing or play instruments, but they were so supportive of us singing. We grew up singing in church and local community events. Our grandma forced Kendra to start doing like talent shows, the Cold Country Showdowns. Well, she didn't enjoy the competition,
but hate competitions to this day.
She caught the singing bug though, the performing bug
on stage. That was the best part.
But they've just been so supportive for so long. Our dad is a respiratory therapist. He learned how to do sound for our acoustic shows.
Yeah.
Our mom kind of acted as we were under 18 when we started Tigirlily. So she would, help us with these contracts for shows, kind of manage, help us with our YouTube channel early on. So she kind of managed us for a while. And our younger sister, we have a younger sister as well. And she helped run merch. So it was a whole family affair, not technically a whole family band, but it was very much a team effort. Yeah.
And I was going to ask about your younger sister. Did she not take that route of music necessarily? Does she ever feel left out?
So she doesn't feel left out with the music thing ever. Because we, at the beginning of it, we wanted her to like, Carly, join us. And, we would try to force her to do YouTube stuff with us. And she never wanted to. She did not want to be on stage. She did not want to be in front of a camera, none of that. She probably feels bad sometimes that we do, because of this job, get to spend so much extra time together. So,
and travel really cool places. Yeah. As well.
So she's like, we went to LA a few weeks ago. She's like, I want to go to LA. And I'm like, I know, I'm sorry, Carly, that you're missing this. So just some of that stuff that we're getting to experience together. We feel a little bit bad that, Carly's not there with us. So we try to FaceTime her or make specific like sister days so she doesn't feel left out. But no, she's so supportive, and she's honestly like, so happy with what we're doing, and I think someday, if this progresses into a really big thing, which we obviously hope, maybe she can just run our merch and she'll help us there.
We can bring her on.
Bring her on tour still.
And before I ask my next question, I have to ask, is your grandpa still going strong?
Yes, Grandpa Bruce.
Awesome.
Love him.
Has he taken off the Tigirlily hat yet?
Never.
No.
Never. To the end of time, he will wear that Tigirlily hat. And the funny thing is so he still has our business cards. Like when, I don't even think we have them anymore, but he still has Tigirlily business cards, and everywhere he goes, he hands them out. And sometimes we will get like DMs on Instagram. It's like, just met your grandpa. He put me on to you guys. He's a huge fan and great supporter, because like you have a new fan now. I'm like, go Grandpa Bruce.
Oh, that is awesome. And I wanted to ask about the family dynamic, because you posted a video on TikTok and there was the men in your life were doing a little tractor dance out in a field on some lawnmowers. And I was wondering if that is a true representation of what growing up was like with your family.
Oh yeah. I mean, our family it's so much fun when we all get together, but we have fun with social media. So when we're with our family, we try not to like
it's not a forced thing.
It's not a forced thing. We don't try to like, if you don't want to be in a video, you don't have to, but it's honestly just like fun family bonding for a lot of us. And my grandpa, like
he loves being like in videos.
Yeah. Like Grandpa, can you would you do a video for, we have a new song coming out. Would you want to do a video with us? And he's always like, oh, I've got some new jokes up my sleeve. And like, he's all about it. So it's honestly just fun, and it creates a lot of fun memories for everybody
and
too.
Then he'll, which I think is the funniest part, after we post the video with our grandpa in it, he'll like ask us repeatedly, how many views did I get? Like, how many likes? Am I famous yet? Did it go viral? And he's made for the internet. I mean,
yeah. That is hilarious. And now let's talk about your beginning as a sister duo. It was 11 and 13 is when you played your very first paying gig together, right?
That sounds about right, because
Yeah.
you were 10 when you started writing songs. So it would have been you probably know this more than we do. I don't even, it was right around that time.
We had posted it, like it was a gas station in our hometown, Senex's annual meeting, and they hired us from an hour of entertainment,
like live music.
And we weren't even Tigirlily at that point.
No.
So we'll go with 11 and 13.
That sounds right. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's what I was wondering, what that first show was and how much you got paid for it.
A couple $100 bucks,
maybe a couple $100, which to an 11-year-old is a lot of money.
Yeah, you're like, wow, I can make the big bucks here, man.
And then it was a couple of years after that you did form Tigirlily. It was 14 and 16, I believe. And that's right around the time that you formed a band around yourself rather than just doing the acoustic thing. Now, I wanted to ask you how that felt and how that helped you develop on stage when you made that transition away from just acoustic and being able to really open up with a band.
Well, it allowed us to play different kind of shows.
Yeah.
We were starting to get hired for like corporate stuff, some fairs, but we found local players like in Bismarck. I'm pretty sure our drummer at the time was a kid about our age. So young people, and we would practice in our high school band room. We would practice at our house. And really it was just us all figuring it out.
Because I mean, a live show, if you have the full band, it's going to be like higher energy, obviously. Like if you have all the guitars and the drums and stuff. So we really learned how to do, if we need to do a full on acoustic show, we can do that. If we need to do a full on band show, we can do that. And it just having that ability creates more opportunity. Like we need a full band. Okay, we can do that. We need acoustic. Okay, we can do that.
We didn't want to limit any opportunity that came our way. And we started to play a lot of, we had a song go like semi-viral within the state of North Dakota. It was actually called North Dakota. It was about our state.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, real deep cut. I don't even think it's up anywhere anymore.
Yeah, you gotta.
Yeah, I didn't find it. So
no, it's on the dark web somewhere. But and that allowed us to go tour the whole state of North Dakota and Midwest, and we were the local openers for any big act that came into town. So North Dakota was really trusting a 14 and 16-year-old girls to go basically perform at the highest level, which is really cool. So we're like, we do need a band, and I feel like we toured so heavily before moving to Nashville that it definitely helped us with stage present, entertaining, just like how to interact with each other on stage and just having the confidence to move also.
And when did the instruments come in? When did you start getting your hands on instruments? What age were you?
Ooh, well, piano lessons.
Yeah, I started playing piano in second grade, and that really sparked my love for music. And then, writing, honestly, when I started writing, it was on the piano, and Krista did piano lessons too. She didn't love it as much as I did.
I was like, I'm not as good as her at piano, so I'm quitting and finding something different.
It worked out great.
Yeah.
Honestly.
So I picked up guitar.
It worked out great. And, it's actually sad because I don't play piano as much anymore because we basically do everything with the guitar. But yeah, the piano really sparked my love for music at an early age. And I'm very thankful that, our mom put us in those lessons, and just to have that knowledge of chords and structures and being able to write music and have, an instrument to do that with.
Right. And Kendra, is it true that you play the saxophone?
You did your research.
Yes, not well. I have not played probably in many. I actually think I sold the saxophone. That is on. But no, I played saxophone in high school band.
Now, if you had to.
Yeah, I mean, I probably it's like if you play piano again, you kind of just pick back.
Well, I was gonna say on albums to come, will we maybe hear some sax solos?
It probably wouldn't be good.
Never say never, but probably not.
Actually, so yeah, I played saxophone in high school, and then Krista played percussion. We're both very average at both of those instruments.
I'm not a drummer. I learned
you can play some beats.
On like pep band music, like Four on the Floor.
Guitar and piano are definitely the elevated instruments.
But it did help with, and we'll get into this a little bit later. Our band director helped us with videos and really was a huge part in our music career. But I'm like, drumming to rhythmic acoustic guitar actually translated really well because I'm so rhythm focused.
Right.
And then it all really helped in the theory and just like being very aware of tempo and time. So it translated really well for us.
Yeah, I imagine the more instruments you know, the more you just know about the composition of music, right, as a whole.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I think the more knowledge you have in anything is going to help you. I mean, like even when we started playing in downtown Nashville and we were playing these 4-hour cover gigs, it's like you're exhausted from playing these covers, but at the same time, it's like your vocabulary of music and chord structures and what you know. And it really inspires you then when you go in to write your own music and you're like, you have this knowledge that you've never had before. So I think anything, it all helps. I do believe that. So.
And now you talk about playing Nashville 4 times a week. Let's talk about that move. At what point did you kind of come to the realization that that is what you were going to do?
Yeah, it wasn't an easy realization. I don't think.
Everyone always asks us to, like, what made you form a band? And it's never been one moment in particular, but we kept doing Tigirlily around North Dakota, the Midwest. We kept like loving it. We got so addicted to performing and we started getting paid to perform. We're like, we don't want to ever have to do anything else.
It's true. It became an addiction. So like when we moved to Nashville then, and we were going to college and we were like, well, we have to pay for college. We have to pay for rent. We have to pay for life. Like this is adult.
It was our first time, like we lived with our parents before moving, obviously.
Yeah. And in North Dakota, we honestly got hired for 90-minute sets usually. And it was like, a performer's dream. And so when we moved to Nashville, it was like, okay, how are we going to continue to make money still doing music? Because that is what we want to do. No matter what, at the end of the day, we want to be making music and that's how we make a living. So, we had some mentors and people saying, well, go down and check out the Broadway scene and, see what it's all about. And, so we ended up, going around talking to a few bars down there on Broadway in Nashville.
And I'm like 18 right there, I'm not even able to drink at this point.
And so we ended up getting hired by a bar. And then, we were freaking out because we had to learn all these songs and you take requests and
you have to know a lot of material.
Like the first few weeks of doing it was a lot. Like it was like a lot to take in. And then, now we do these 4-hour sets and it's like, oh, it was easy. It's funny because it was for me, a terrifying time of like, I'm going on stage. I don't know all these lyrics to every one of these songs. I might take a request and not know it perfectly, but it's like stepping into that zone of being uncomfortable. And from that, we have learned, oh my gosh, so much. And that's really made a huge difference in what Tigirlily is and who we are right, to this day. And but it's hard work. Anyone who plays downtown Nashville on Broadway, those 4-hour shifts,
they're working hard.
They're hustling. Kudos, to all of them. And it's a grind for sure.
If 2020 wouldn't have happened and you would have just continued that grind of playing 4 times a week, things could have looked very different coming into 2021.
I think they would have.
Yeah, honestly, because by the time you're done, and this just shows it's like,
it's hard.
Sometimes you're like, I'm working so hard and what can I do more to make this work? And that's how we felt sometimes, when we were just exhausted from playing all those shows.
Like, what aren't we doing?
Like what we were trying to do everything we can at this point. And we had good social media, but once we had time to like really just dig in and create content for, TikTok and Reels and Facebook.
And I had to force her to join TikTok.
Oh yeah, she did.
Yeah.
I did.
So it's like, I don't know. At the end of it, it was just like a big silver lining for us to have that time. And things definitely would have turned out to be, because when you're that exhausted, you're like, I have no voice. I don't want to sit down and sing and make all this content because your voice is so tired. And so, probably not. So I'm just like, this is a universe thing because honestly, you can't plan anything and timing is everything. And you just have to really trust if you're, doing everything you think you can. And you have to trust the journey at the end of the day.
Right. And now let's talk about Somebody Does. That was your takeoff point. When did that song come to fruition? When did you write it? Was it late in 2020?
Yeah, it was in September.
Yeah,
maybe,
fall
or
2020.
It was in the fall sometime.
It's almost a year old.
I know I don't have the exact date of when we wrote it in my mind, but it was us and our friend Zarni DeVette, who we've, written with many, many songs with her. And she's just honestly a friend of ours, but she's an amazing writer. And I don't know, we were just writing a lot at that point, and we went into this write and we were like, like
not feeling it.
I think that would particular day, it was like dreary outside, and the world seems like it's crashing down, and you're just like, do people even care about any of this anymore? Like, do people want to hear a breakup song? Do people want to hear a love song? Like, obviously they are needed, and people, yes, we need those. But it was like that day we were like, what?
Like, does that even matter right now?
What do people want to hear? Like, and then Zarni's like, well, like, think about it this way. Like, if you guys have one thing to say right now to the world, like, what is it? And we just kept saying, I don't know who needs to hear this, but somebody does. And then we got into the like, just how lonely of a year it was for so many people. And still to this day, it's like, I think just with the age we're in and social media and everything, it's like people just get in this headspace of like,
they're not good enough. Yeah, they don't matter.
It's just lonely. And so this song was really just to serve as a reminder to people of how much they matter and how beautiful they are. And we really did not expect, like, we've had a few questions like, did you guys write this song for TikTok? And it was absolutely not that way. Like, no, that was not in our minds at all. And I mean, thankfully, like, worked out to where it spoke to a lot of people through that. But yeah, it was just like, it really was just a reminder and a big hug to people. But when we, put the first little teaser out, and it went just nuts, it completely viral on Reels. Actually, it went more viral than TikTok. TikTok went viral too. But so it just went crazy. And still to this day, like it just actually played on the Bobby Bones show, which is super cool. And we put a video of us just reacting to it on Facebook, and it has like 2.2 million views, I think, on Facebook, and like over 500,000 on TikTok. And we're like, this is crazy. So
this song just keeps speaking to so many people, which is amazing, because we did release a project about a month ago, and 5 songs, and we're like, if there's a song that we want to get out to people and speak to people, it is Somebody Does,
for sure. Like, if any of these songs is the one to take off, we're really happy that it is Somebody Does, because it's such a good message that everyone obviously needs to hear. I mean, we need to hear it as well some days, and just the stories that people have shared with us through that song is incredible. And so Somebody Does is like our little go-getter.
Yeah, well, let's talk about the timeline, because this, as it appears on social media, the timeline is kind of crazy, because on February 20th of this year, you posted that you were getting to release Somebody Does, and you needed everyone to pre-save it so that it would do well when it hit the charts. On February 23rd, you heard the song on the radio for the very first time on 103.3 Nash. On February 24th, you released the song. It goes #1 on iTunes, on the country and all genre charts. And then on February 25th, you post a video of being offered a deal with Monument. So within a 5-day span, you say you're going to release a song, you release a song, and you have a record deal. Like, what was that 5 days a week like for you guys?
Yeah.
So crazy.
We had talked to Monument like 2 years prior to actually now being signed with Monument. And so we kind of knew them, and they weren't really signing anyone more when we had met with them and sang for them. But kind of like later kept in touch. And then, with somebody, well, actually, so Katie introduced Shane to us. And so Shane was like, he was just, he's awesome, and he wanted to produce us. So he produced Somebody Does and a bunch of these tracks. And then, Somebody Does blew up and obviously signed to Monument, which is our dream team. Like, Monument is, a co-venture with Sony, and then also with Shane McAnally and Jason Owen, which is perfect for us because it's a little more boutique-y, and they're very artist friendly. Right. And if you look at any of their roster, it's super just great artists and super cool music. So when somebody does release and we're getting, you know, an offer from like our dream label in town, this is like, where are the red flags? This is too good to be true. Like, something has to be wrong right now.
What's
we're like,
the catch?
What is it? Yeah, what's the catch? But no, it honestly was just a perfect fit. And again, it's like all about timing and just trusting that when it's supposed to happen, it will, because, you know, we had formed that relationship 2 years prior, you know, and it took us, Shane producing us and Katie knowing us and it just all coming together at that very moment. But getting that call from Katie, you know, offering us that deal, it was like, I haven't watched that video in forever, but whenever I watch the video, I just like start crying, because we really, in that moment, it was like a huge goal of ours, a huge dream of ours. And, you know, something we'd worked for so long really had come true in that moment. And it was like, thank you, God. Like, we were just like, I don't know, like, what are the, still, we were like, is this real? Like, what is the catch? But, no, it's just been amazing. And I don't even know what to say, because it was just the most surreal week ever. Like, we will never forget that week and just the reaction to that. So.
And you talked about Shane helping produce the album and Louis Newman co-produced as well. Now, how long does your relationship with him go back?
So Louis, we go way back. So
he also manages us.
Yes. So he is married to an artist named Gwen Sebastian, who Gwen tours with Miranda Lambert full time.
I saw in an interview like way back when you first started Tigirlily, you had mentioned her as an influence. And so I was wondering if that was a full circle moment when you got to work with Louis and met her.
Yeah, so that's our whole connection, is through Gwen, because she's from North Dakota as well as we are. We're basically like 45 minutes from each other where we grew up. But we opened a show for her in our hometown of Hazen, North Dakota, like before 9 years ago.
Yeah. Oh, really?
And Louis was there with her, and you know, we had done our thing and performed, and you know, he just kind of like was like, you know, if you girls ever need anything in Nashville, let us know.
If you have any questions, like super nice.
If we'll show you around the town if you ever want to come down. So he was always just like, you know, giving us advice. And you know, down the road, we ended up just really trusting him and Gwen and their vision and direction. And it's hard to find people you really trust in Nashville. And so they became our like Nashville fam.
And he actually, before moving to Nashville too, like Louis had produced 2 EPs on us, before even moving. So I feel like he also gave us the confidence to move down here. You know, we didn't know that many people, but we knew at least 2 people, and just really explained to like, if you want to take this one step further, if you really want the huge, like, what's your goal? And we're like, you know, sell out arenas. That's our goal. Reach as many people as possible. He's like, well, you need to get to Nashville. That's the first part of that. It's how you reach that. And like, how do you get on radio? It's usually they're signing with a label, and then it's this whole process. But he's been so great to work with, and the balance of Louis and Shane co-producing was like perfect, because Louis already had worked with us several times.
Right.
He knows us so well.
He knows our voices.
He knows our style. He knows what we would and wouldn't be comfortable with. And then, so he's like, you know, homeboy, we've been working with him for a while. And then Shane comes on as, you know, massive producer, like super respected by everyone.
You're like,
has worked with Casey Musgraves, Old Dominion, Midland, you know, pretty much everyone.
Yeah.
So he brings the, experience, the Nashville flair, and also just the talent as well with Louis. And he was so good about helping us choose songs and producing them in a way that still felt like very much us, but also just took it to the next level as well. But he was also good about like not trying to change what we do, just taking the best part of what Tigirlily is and amplifying it.
Right. And you talk about that production side. I saw on socials that My Thing, you kind of posted a video of the writing process, the production process, and then the finished song. Now, you have recorded albums and EPs in the past, so you know what that is like. But when you see that on this album and realizing that this is the music that is ultimately going to take you somewhere. Does it have a different feeling when you look back on that process than it does on older music?
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah. I mean,
it's all exciting and fun. Our favorite part is being in the studio and seeing it come together. But we knew there was something different and special, and the level that it was produced at, and the players.
We for sure felt a different kind of magic with this, you know, with this music, and we love the process of writing. I think people don't necessarily know, you know, what all goes into that, and it's like you write the song and then probably demo it, and then you get into the studio to have the band track everything, and then you go in and do 100 vocal takes, and then it's, you know, mixed and mastered, and then you know, once the song's finally complete, then you do all the marketing videos, photos for it, and then you have to promote it. It's just, you know, it's a process. So when people say like, when are you coming out with new music, it takes for a lot of artists, it takes a long, you know, it takes a while from start to finish to get all that done.
You don't want to rush it. You don't want to rush it.
Right.
That's like your like little song babies coming out into the world, and they're permanent too. So you want to make sure they're exactly how you want them.
Yeah. I feel like with this project for the first time, we really felt like, oh, this is really, really showcasing who we are as artists, as people, you know, as sisters, where we come from. It kind of embodied all of those things. And so I think that's why this one in particular was extra special. And, you know, getting to work with Shane was always a dream of ours. So it's like, we're getting to work with, you know, people that we've dreamed of working with for a long time. And so that definitely added some extra flair, as Krista would say too.
That is awesome. And I wanted to ask you about your charity work, because in the past you have done a lot with charity, with playing at events and supporting charities. So how important is that for you guys?
Oh, super important. We always say, like, we have these, you know, gifts, and if we're not using them for good, basically, what are we doing? And so, you know, we don't have all the money in the world, you know, we can't do a lot of those types of things, but what we do have is, you know, our voices. And so if we can help out, you know, in that department, obviously we love to do that. But no, it's so, it just, I don't know.
You have to give back.
It's like, that's the best thing about this is, you know, being at those events and really truly feeling like, okay, I am making a difference in this world for the better, and doing something good with the gifts I've been given. And that's what it's all about, for sure.
And one of the legacies as well that you have over the past, I think it was 6 months, is Kendra, your husband, in your TikTok videos, learning some TikTok dances. Now, I wanted to ask about your relationship with him, because I believe it's 11 years or coming up on 12 years this year, maybe. So what has it been like to have him there throughout this entire journey with you?
Oh, so we've been together, 11 years, married for almost 2. So we met in middle school back in North Dakota. So we're from the same hometown, but it's been really cool because he's got to watch this journey unfold from start to now. And, you know, to him, he is like #1 fanboy, but also like, it's just my job. It's just what I do. It's not like he's like putting pressure on me to, you know, be my best at all times. Like, he's the person that I can not be my best in front of too as well, but he loves to do like the TikTok stuff. So honestly,
everyone's like, do you force him to do those? And we're like, no.
him and Krista actually can get the dances down way fast. Like, I cannot do the dances. And so we posted, Walker Hayes has a song going viral right now called Fancy Like,
yeah.
And we did the dance to it, and we practiced it for so long. And at the end of it, I was like, I literally look so bad doing this dance. You guys start it and I'll jump in at the end. But no, he loves it. And especially because he was self-employed during the pandemic, and he's a photographer. And so all 3 of us were like, well,
let's make TikToks.
We don't have a lot going on right now. So, you know, it was just kind of fun to pass time. But no, he's awesome. Love him very, very much. And he's a Tigirlily, you know, fan club member for life. Obviously.
He actually does all our photos as well too.
Oh, nice.
He took our EP cover. He took that photo. So it's fun that, you know, he's not musically artistic at all. Don't tell him I said that. We won't tell him this part. But he's very creative. And so it's fun to have him involved, you know, in our career and that side of it too. And for me, it makes me super comfortable whenever we have to do a photo shoot or anything like that, to have him on that side.
It's like, things. Jared, get my good side.
Yeah. I'm like, you already know my good angles. And like, he'll be honest with me to where it's like, am I going to like my pose in that? And he'll be like, probably not. And be like, okay, let me change. Like, it's just really easy communication, which is super nice. Because, you know, photo shoots and stuff like that can be kind of like a lot of pressure sometimes.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's super nice, but I could talk about Jared all day long. So I'll stop.
And you post a lot of content, basically just showing where you've come from. And so is that important for you to continually sort of look back and remember where you did come from and remember what has happened along this journey up to this point?
Yeah, we get super like emotional about that, just because we have been doing this, you know, as sisters for so long, and we did so much back in North Dakota. And when we had nothing going on, like a lot of people supported us from the beginning. So I don't know, we feel like we need to share all these special moments with the people, you know, who have supported us for so long, and all the new people, you know, coming in and supporting us now.
We really do feel like it's definitely a team effort
for sure.
So it's really fun for us to keep people updated, and they're all part of the journey.
I mean, that's a huge reason, like, not to interrupt, but why we even, you know, got signed and things like that. It's because, like, oh, you have all these people who care about you and, you know, caring about your music. So we do not take that for granted.
People will ask us like, oh, or tell us, oh, don't forget about where you come from, or don't forget about North Dakota. It's like, that's not possible.
That.
No, like, that literally will never happen. It's not possible for us to forget where we come from. So.
Yeah. And with all that's happened over the past 6 months, looking forward, what are the next goals that you have after accomplishing so much in the past 6 months? What is next that you want to accomplish?
Yeah. Short term, go in and record another project, go land a tour and play the Opry is my next 3 immediate goals. But we just have, you know, reached so many more new people in the past 6 months. Just keep like reaching new people and meeting new people, keep traveling with music. I don't know if there's anything I'm missing. Just really, if anything we've learned is like all the stuff that's happened it was so unplanned. So we're trying to just keep planting seeds, and, you know, when things sprout out and pop up, that we can, you know, enjoy it. So I've never used that analogy before, but that was pretty good. Yeah, I rolled that one.
That's awesome. Well, congratulations on all the success and all that you've seen happen over the past 6 months. Like I say, it's pretty cool to see. People can check out the new EP now everywhere. I know you have tour dates that are on your webpage that people can go check out, and then keep an eye on your social media for all the crazy stuff that you got going on there as well, right?
Yes, absolutely. All under Tigirlily.
Thank you guys once again so much for listening, and be sure to check out their new EP wherever you stream your music. Please also make sure to like, share, follow, subscribe to us on whatever streaming service you are listening on, and give us a review, a rating. Tell your friends, your family, your neighbors to come on over and have a listen. That support means the world. Thanks once again for listening, and we'll see you next time on Country Music Made Me.